Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Looks like we live in full effect. My name is Ryan McCrary. I'm the CEO of McCrary Financial Solutions, where we provide financial solutions through financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and digital marketing. So I'm here with a great guest for you guys, great friend of mine. I'm excited for this conversation. I'll bring him on in 1 second, but I want to share his bio. And I want you guys to really understand who we have on this live interview today. Some of you may have heard about him, may have seen his company, may have even, been a customer of his company. But I don't think, everybody understands the dynamic brother we have on today. So I'll bring him on in 1 second, but I just want to give you a little brief background. So Terry K. Williams Sr. is a native Washingtonian, and is the founder and CEO of Shea Butter Like Whoa. He demands perfection in all Shea Butter Like Whoa body and hair care products. Only the purest of natural ingredients are used to manufacture them in order to provide strong elements of health and beauty. Thus, his focus is always to provide customers with quality over quantity. So that's quality over quantity, y'all. Terry received his Bachelor's of Science degree in marketing from Bowie State University and continued his classes in herbal studies at Maryland University of Integrated Health, formerly Thai Sophia Institute. He worked for the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities, an entity of the National Institute of Health. He has always had an entrepreneurial passion and became extremely intrigued once introduced to shea butter in 2004 and began creating health products using plant-based ingredients for families and friends. With that passion still flowing, Shea Butter Like Whoa was established in 2015 in Washington, D.C. Since the inception of Shea Butter Like Whoa, he has gained notoriety for his body and hair care products. In 2013, Terry was featured in an article in Kamoy magazine. He has participated in local and national natural hair care expos, not only to grow the Shea Butter Like Whoa brand, but to engage directly with the customers from whom he serves. In 2011, he also had the opportunity to visit various villages in Nigeria. That's amazing, bro. I don't think I even knew that. To witness and learn how the women of Africa produce shea butter like whoa, which is also known as the woman's gold. So without further ado, I want to welcome my good brother Terry K. Williams Sr. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing great, doing great. Thanks for that introduction, Ryan. Definitely a pleasure to be here speaking with you today. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I gave a brief background, but if you want to go, just a little bit more in depth on, who you are, where you from, why you started this company, and just everything that you're passionate about.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much, Ryan, for the introduction. Well, my name is Terry Williams Sr., founder and CEO of Shea Butter Like Whoa. And as Ryan said, I'm based right here, right outside of Washington, D.C. Just to give you a little history of how myself as a male got involved in the cosmetic industry. It wasn't planned initially. It definitely wasn't. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to make some skincare products." But always been an entrepreneur. You look for different lanes and different avenues to sort of travel down to see if that sparks interest to you. So I was introduced to shea butter back in like 2005, and like many people today, and like some people in the past, you don't know what shea butter is, what it does. And back then, internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So I didn't know what you to even start with it. But I knew it was a good ingredient once I started playing around with it, once I started feeling what it did. So me and a business partner, we set out to just sell raw shea butter. That was the goal, just to sell raw shea butter. And we were trying to do that to other product makers. Actually didn't work out that way. And my investment was a large amount of shea butter. So I grew up in an era where not really too wasteful, try to be more resourceful with things that you have. So I just started making products with it, just playing around with it initially and just trying to formulate something out of it. Because the shea butter we had so much of it and it didn't really sell. So by default, I got into making products. I was just going to sell raw shea butter initially, but by default, we didn't have the customer base to really push it out. So I wanted to actually not waste my investment, and I started formulating it into actual product. So
Yeah.
I have hands-on experience of over 16 years in formulating and making products, and I have a lot of education to back that up as well. Um, so that's just a little brief background of how I got started into the industry. I have to always give a shout out to Angie Upton. She was the one. She's in Chicago now, and she's the one who introduced me to Shea Butter back in 2005. And I will forever be grateful for her for that.
It's interesting. So I see a few people joining. So do me a favor, y'all. Put some likes up, put some hearts up, put some comments down. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them in. We'll have a great discussion. We're also going to let you know how you can get a hold of his amazing products. I don't want to do no spoilers, but I like the Black Passion. You know what I'm saying? That is my favorite scent. That is what I strongly recommend. So again, we need y'all to share this, some likes up, some hearts up. This is how we boost the algorithm because we need to be having these important conversations with people in our community that are doing amazing things. It's not about just seeing, everybody on TV and people in the mainstream. No, there's everyday brothers and sisters out here really making a difference in people's lives, really building 6, 7, 8 figure companies, and we need to know about them. So, you kind of my next question you kind of answered. We're talking about the origin of shea butter and stuff like that. But if someone says like shea butter, like okay, why do I need shea butter? Why is it so important? Like, what would you tell that person?
Well, I would definitely tell that person that it's essential to feeding your body, just as you feed and consume food when you're hungry, and you need to do that in order to survive. Your body, and the largest organ of your body is your skin, that also needs to be fed. But in today's society and on in mainstream market, it's a lot of products out there. They're not feeding your body probably to the maximum level that it should be. They're using a lot of these hot keywords, shea butter and olive oil, or natural, organic, and they're giving you a sprinkle. They're giving you just a sprinkle of those ingredients, and then they're giving you a whole lot of byproducts. So you're not really getting the maximum level that you should in your products. Case in point, some products you put on, they don't moisturize all day long because you don't have all of the good ingredients in there, or enough of them to keep you moisturized for long periods of time.
Mm, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I mean, my next question is, you've been doing it for 15 years strong. You're definitely expert in that field. But over the last, year, a couple years or so, this thing has literally blown up. You know what I mean? And not everyone is aware of, how much it's blown up. I'm aware, in the community, in the circles that we in, we're aware. But, I want you to just tell, people just a little bit. You don't got to give them everything, but just a little bit on how Shea Butter Like Whoa has literally blown up and transformed over the last, year or 2 years, or whatever it has been.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me first start by saying that I've laid the foundation down for these long amount of years. Putting the work, understanding my craft, making sure that I have a good product that once it gets to the mainstream, people would want it, not something that I still was really tweaking. So that's really important as well, because some people may just look at the last year or the last year and a half and think that can be duplicated. Everybody's journey is
Right, right,
different. But what I can explain from my journey, I don't think that any of that in the last year and a half would have occurred if I didn't put in the work for over the last since 2005. And
right.
by me saying that, I mean, going grassroots, going to pop up events, doing shows up and down the East Coast, doing shows all in my local Maryland, D.C., and Virginia area, putting the brand out there so people can understand it. Now that was a lot of heavy work myself, putting it in, just being in different places, but it was worthy because of the fact that I'm branding as I'm out each and every day, each and every event, each and every person that touches it. Now, coming to play, I didn't do a lot of ad spinning and a lot of social media marketing. One, because I was probably a little ignorant, not knowing how to do it successfully.
Mm,
So I tried it and it wasn't really successful. So I sort of shied away from it because I say, well, I'm not, I don't really know what I'm doing. Um, but last year I was at a pop-up event, actually at a pop-up event. And let me just say this again. It's important to brand yourself and be there. If I didn't go to this pop-up event last year, I may not have everything may not have occurred the way it's occurred right
right.
now. So last year I was at an event, a pop-up event, and Laz Alonso, the actor from Washington D.C. area, he was one of the panel speakers. So when he initially came in, I didn't recognize him as Laz like right away. I knew he was somebody, and then I said, "Oh, okay, that's such and such."
Right.
So he came around and he spoke to me, and we spoke for a minute. I gave him my elevator pitch, introduced my brand to him, let him try it out, and we took a picture. And then he left. You know, he probably spoke to some of the other vendors, and then he had to prepare to speak on a panel. What I did do is I spoke to other people around, and come to find out his manager was still lingering around my table. Not lingering around my table. He was still sort of hanging around my table. So we spoke, introduced it, and I found out that I was his manager. So I said, hey, man, here go a couple of my products. I think Laz will enjoy these. Check it out. And I sort of left it at that. When I meet celebrities or anyone with a lot of clout, my main focus, I want you to try my product. Anything additional is a bonus. So I didn't set out to say, oh my God, I can't wait till he get this product. I know he's going to do X, Y. I had no intention or no clue what would come about from that. But by that act, I didn't ask him for a picture. I didn't ask to, you know, can I put this on social media? I didn't do anything. I just said, man, I got a good product, bro. I think you're going to enjoy this. So I guess a couple weeks later, I followed up with him on Instagram just to make sure he got it. And surprisingly, he was responsive. We just got into a conversation, and he enjoyed the product. So I said, hey, you know, let me know if you need some more and things like that. So we actually got onto a conversation, got into a phone conversation. He picked up the phone and asked me what I was really looking for, and he told me that he would basically just do a video, support my brand. He liked who I was. He said I was from the DMV. I had a good product, and you know, he said, hey, I'm gonna do this for you. He didn't charge me anything. He didn't say, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was just a genuine respect for my brand, how I presented myself to him, how I followed up with him. I put no pressure on anything I was expecting out of him, and he just felt that was something that he wanted to do, which I'm forever grateful for, because he did that. And he did that last year around, I think I met him last year around June, July. He did a video maybe around September, somewhere around that time frame. So when I received the video, I was able to put it into a Facebook ad. At the time,
what did that do?
Man, I think they had one of those credit commercials or something when that rocket just like takes off, or mortgage company, like Rocket Mortgage. It definitely took off like a rocket. I've never had an ad or the followers that I have now, and a lot of that is contributed to that Laz Alonso video. And just to put that in context, right now that video has reached over 1.5 million views.
Damn.
And I think it's probably over about 7,000 orders since that ad has been running from October of last year. I ran it Black Friday, right around November. I'm sorry, not October. I ran the holiday weekend, Black Friday, that Thanksgiving at 6 p.m. I released it, and it just caught fire. And one of the things I didn't expect it to catch the fire that it did initially. But I was super grateful and excited that it did. And one of the things it also did, it curated an abundance of reviews, because as people purchased the product, they were going back onto the feed and posting their reviews, which helped me as well, because it was not only Laz talking about the product, but it was people that made the purchase by watching that video go back on there, and that sort of helped help validate the brand even more, because now you have people that saw the brand, they've gone to it, they've received the product, they're using it, and they're loving it. So that was one of the great and beneficial things that social media brings on. You have instant reviews on the post. So that was extremely awesome.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I remember being, with you in Atlanta in January, just a few months after that big blow up, and you was like, your phone was literally blowing up, like literally blowing up. So if you just joined us, my name is Ryan McCrary. I'm interviewing Terry K. Williams. He is the CEO of Shea Butter Like Whoa, an amazing brand. I see a few people on. Clyde, how you doing? Peace, brother. Do me a favor. If you haven't shared already, please share this. Please like this. Please put some hearts up. He is sharing you literally priceless information. I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all taking heed to this, because after this, once you get off this, if you want to pick his brain, it's not going to be free. So my next question is, something that I wasn't even thinking about before, but what you just said definitely sparked a lot of different thoughts in my mind. You talking about how if you didn't even go to this event, that probably wouldn't have happened. You probably wouldn't have did a video that got 1.1 million views, over 7,000 orders just from that ad alone. We're not talking about other orders. We're not talking about other ads you run or other pop-ups or whatever else selling your products. So you know what I mean. Talk to about like what was your mindset as far as going to the event. Make sure you're going to the pop-ups. Make sure you put in the work in because a lot of people. You talk about 15 years. A lot of people they want to quit after 6 months or after a year, after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Like, what was it that kept you motivated, kept you driving, kept you pushing, still going to events after 15 years and you still didn't reach anywhere near your potential, but still, you know what I mean? Like after over 10 plus years, and then that Les Alonso influencer video, that blows everything up. Like what kept you driven and what kept you hungry?
And that's a good question, Brian, because so many people are quick to give up, or in the social media age that we live in now, so many people are just quick to say, I want to press a button and get instant gratification.
Right.
What kept me motivated over all those years is being dedicated, looking at how I can create a legacy for myself and for my family, but then also knowing that I had a good product. I always knew that I had a good product. My goal was to set out to have the best product on the market, and being the competitive individual that I am, I strive for that. And I kept doing research and I kept saying, I know I have a good product. And it was stamped because of the very few customers that I had over the years. And as they continue to grow, they continue to come back. And they would constantly feed fuel to me by letting me know how good the product is, how it's working for them, the results. And if I didn't get that feedback from my customers, I may be bowling the gutter ball because I didn't have a good product, but I knew I was bowling strikes. So I just knew that I just was waiting on that moment. Like I think DJ Khaled or Drake might have a song when they say waiting on that moment.
Right.
I knew that I just needed that moment. And I had other people tell me, they said, man, all you need to do is get this in the right person's hand. So I knew that. So along the way, I just continued to prepare myself for when that moment arrived. Because that moment arrived, you may go from selling, let's say you make cheesecakes, you might sell one cheesecake, but then you go from selling 1 to 1,000 cheesecakes, things are going to look a little bit differently. So you got to start reversing yourself. If I'm selling 1,000 cheesecakes, what is it going to take for me to get to those 1,000? So let me start getting myself in that right mindset now. Because when that door opened for me, Ryan, I didn't know that was going to happen, but I had been preparing myself all along for so many years for that moment. So of course it was some tweaking, some adjustments, some extra help, some different hands I needed to bring on board to assist. But I was prepared for that moment mentally, physically, and emotionally. I was prepared for it, and I had been waiting for that moment. So I think just to wrap that question up, it was just self-motivation, believing in myself. I've always believed in myself and what I was capable of doing. And I listened to my customers, listened to whether they didn't like something, whether I did something wrong. Did they like this product? Am I going down the right track? I just wasn't focused on whether I like it or not. I'm not selling only to myself. So I needed to make sure that the people that I was servicing, they enjoyed the product and they loved it and they wanted to buy it over and over and over again. And now they want to replace it as a staple product in their home. So it's not just like, oh, I'm beside their Suave or their Jergens or what they may have been using in the past. They've wiped all of that off of their counter and they've only replaced it with my product.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm talking to Terry Williams. He's the CEO of Shea Butter Like Whoa. I dropped the link down there so you guys can get a hold of his products. I'm going to tell y'all, my personal favorite is the Black Passion. It is literally fire. For the women and the fellas, if you come in there, your girl's mad at you, your wife mad at you, you walk in that'll get you out the doghouse. For the women, you'll love it. There's a lot of other scents there. That's personally my favorite. But, I mean, honestly, I love all of them. So now I want to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
Take you back to January of this year. And the crazy thing is, it seems like it was so long ago we was at Game Plan, but it was this year. I keep forgetting it was this year. So for those of you that remember, this was the middle of the government shutdown. So, I want you to talk about, your previous career, working for the federal government and that shutdown and how you were actually able to leave your job during this time when most people were freaking out saying, listen, I ain't got paid in a month or 2 weeks or 2 months. I can't buy groceries. I can't feed my family. Terry had a different approach. He wasn't waiting for the government to pay his bills. He actually was making more money on his own than more than his government job. And also, what you're doing now, I want you to give people just a little tour of the facility. But
Sure.
just take us back to that time, during the government shutdown when everybody was freaking out. I can't pay my bills, and Terry was like, I don't even need y'all no more. I'm making more money with my own business, building my own company.
Absolutely, Ryan. Opportunity doesn't present itself all the time, and you just have to be ready. A lot of people ask for things, but when it arrives, you have to be ready. You can't put one foot in and put a little toe in to see if the water's
Right.
good, if it's warm, and is it ready for you to jump in. That window may close, and you may never have
Right.
an opportunity again. So when the government shut down, it affected not only myself but plenty of people around the country. This had been my second time around. The first time I purchased my home, it was my first home in 2013. The government shut down like
Mm,
4 or 5 days after I went to closing.
mm,
So that was stressful at that time, and this was a second time around. So I'm in the DMV area. I was working for the federal government as a contractor. So when the government shuts down, contractors we don't get paid.
mm,
So this was right before Christmas
mm.
or holiday time, but simultaneously, the Laz Alonso ad was making great headway.
Right.
So I continued it, and I just continued to add more money to the ad spending, and then increased in as far as who saw it and who actually made purchases. So when the government shut down this particular time, of course I was watching my spending and doing things that a lot of other people were doing as well, but I was focusing on my business. It really allowed me time to dive 100% into my business, to make more product, to address on social media, to make sure I respond to people that are commenting on these ads and things like that, just to really be personal with the customers. And when the government, by the time the government was to open back up in like maybe January, something like that, I had to make a decision. My sales and my business had picked up to the point where it was no way I was going to be able to handle that volume and still go to work and work a 9 to 5 and come home and do it in the
Right.
evening.
Right.
So I was in a crossroad. I saw it coming. I could feel it coming. And I was like, wow, there's just no way I'll be able to do this and still go to work every day. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd just be up all day, all night working, come back home. There's no way I didn't want to kill myself. So I decided, I prayed, I definitely prayed. I prayed a whole lot. And I sat there and just thought about it, talked to some close people to me. And I just decided to make the leap. I said, it's time. The day I was supposed to go back, I emailed my company and said, hey, I'm not going to make it back. I resigned. I didn't even give him 2 weeks. I was not unable. I was not going to be able to give him 2 weeks, especially when we had just been off for like 6, 8 weeks. It would have been easy for me to go back and give them 2 weeks and then leave. So I just
Right.
cut ties. And being a contract, I didn't have to really give them 2 weeks. It's an at will position, so I was able to just cut the ties right at that moment. Um, it was definitely a deep decision that I gave a lot of thought to. But I had been waiting for this moment. I was only working to fund my business. I did not work a 9 to 5 for a career. I was never looking for a career. I made great money. I made over 6 figures at my last job, and that was the first time I actually went over 6 figures. So I was at my last job, and I was excited, like, wow, I've been wanting to make 6 figures. Was making 6 figures. Um, but I had to make a choice, and my choice was to invest in myself, believe in myself, and go for what I've been waiting for all this time. So I'm super excited. And not too far after that, the location I'm in right now is the warehouse that I was able to open up in early February as well, to allow for the increase and expansion of the business as well. Be able to have more space.
So overall, was the decision a good decision?
Oh, it absolutely was a good absolutely was a good decision. I had my time to myself as well. I can come and work at any given time if I need to. I can take off whenever I need to as well. But then also I got to cross my T's and dot my I's, because now I'm fully responsible for my income.
Right.
Yeah, so I not only have to replace that income, I still have to have income to run the business.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So Clyde says, I need that type of dedication. So yeah, so this is, I love what you said about opportunities. The opportunity window is only going to be open for so long. So all y'all that are at your 9 to 5 and you hate your 9 to 5, I want to encourage you just to go out and put the time and energy into your business and try to see what opportunities are out there. A lot of us, we get past opportunities, but we let them run out too quick. We don't actually go full throttle. We'll actually go in. So I just want to encourage y'all, if you're working a job that you do not like, when you get off, what are you doing? When you get off, I know Terry was in the lab before he even opened his warehouse. He would be in the lab getting products out, still putting time into his business. He wasn't just getting off and, you know what I mean, sitting around watching TV all day.
Absolutely. And one of the key things to piggyback on what you said there, Ryan, when people would ask me, "Oh, is this your part-time job?" I never said it was a part-time job. I always have had two full-time jobs because my
Right.
business and Shea Butter Like Whoa was always a full-time job for me. It just so happened that I had another full-time job that was helping supplement and support that vision. But
Mm.
I didn't have an angel investor or anyone come in and say, "Hey, we like your vision. Here you go." I didn't have that. I funded myself all the way to this point.
We straight bootstrappers. We bootstrap. We don't
Bootstrap.
raise money. We make money. You know what I'm saying? So just like a couple more questions before I let him get back to his busy day, because you know time is money. He's running a massive operation over there, so we gotta let him get back to his time. So talk about that opportunity cost because, like you said, and me personally, in my job, I never even made six figures. So you coming in and you making six figures, over six figures, and now you thinking, I'm gonna leave a six-figure job, for a business. Yeah, it's doing well. Yeah, ads are blowing up. But at the same time, we know as business owners, next week or next month, anything can happen. Facebook shuts your ad down, then your revenue's going.
Absolutely.
Customers ain't purchasing as much. Now the revenue ain't there. So, what was that like to just think about, opportunity costs of say, I might leave this six-figure job for something that I know is, fully sustainable yet, which, I believe it was. But at the same time, as you say, looking back at now, it was the best decision you made because now you're not capped. You're not just capped at whatever the government pays you. Now, who knows? This is right now. And a year from now, you could be making $1 million a month for whatever it is if you're not there already.
Absolutely. And opportunities, sometimes a lot of people look at the glass maybe half empty. I always look at it as half full.
Mm.
I know if I go to a job and they say, "Hey, we're paying you $40 an hour," I know I can make more than $40 an hour.
Right.
I know I can make more.
That's powerful.
And I know that I'm on a scale with you. So I may make 40 in a year, you may give me a raise and things like that. But not only that money part, my time is
Right.
allocated to coming to your organization, helping building your organization to get to a certain level. And then you're restricted. You can't take off when you want to take off. You got to be able to do this and you got to be able to do that. So you got to sort of balance out what works best for you. I've always wanted to have my own time, create my own time, and sign checks so that I can pay other people
Right.
versus somebody having to pay me. And then at the end of the day, I have an undergrad in marketing and a graduate certificate degree in herbal studies. I know it's no limit. It's no limit to the amount that you can make per day, per hour, per second.
Right. Right. It's
No limit,
crazy, right?
especially in the way the marketing operates now. I have customers in California. I had a customer order that was in Australia. First time I got down into the Aussie land. And there's no way that they would have known about my company through traditional old school way of marketing.
Mm.
So, like Lamar Tyler says it the best from TSP, he says the gatekeepers are gone.
Mm.
They definitely are gone because you don't have to go through the same channels you've went through before to find your customer. You don't have to, pay a third party. Well, not sometimes now you still have to pay like third party, like Facebook or ads and things like that. You don't have to pay a company to set your product on their shelf in order to get in front of your potential customer. You can just have your computer like we're talking right now. You can make it attractive, put some pictures up there, and you may get some potential leads. So with me knowing that part of the business as well, I know that, man, all I got to do is get it out there, and it's no limit to the amount of people that could view what I have to offer and also buy what I have to offer.
Mm.
It's no cap. I have the keys to my location right now. I can come in at any given time, middle of the night, early morning, and start making product. I don't have to get permission for that. So that excites me as well. And then having an opportunity to let my son see some of the things that I'm doing also makes me extremely happy, and makes me feel that everything I'm doing is going down the right path.
And that's just so powerful what you said. Because, I do a lot of coaching. People come to me all the time for business stuff, finance stuff. And that's what I try to explain to people is like the digital landscape that we live in. You are no longer capped to just making money through a 9 to 5, getting paid every 2 weeks. Yes, that's okay. Do what you got to do. But if you are unhappy in your situation, you need to understand you can make money all day long, 24/7, all hours, all time of the day. Like, seriously, that, like, and I'm glad you said that because, I experienced that as well. It's like, listen, the position we're in, like, we have the ability to make money all day long, not just from 9 to 5. There's days when I wake up and I've already made money. On holidays, I've already made money. The weekends, like, I've already made money because, like you said, once you're leveraging the internet, you can serve customers from all over the country and all over the world. I've
Mhm.
sent books to people in Canada, people in London, people in the Caribbean, and that comes from leveraging the internet. So I say to you, if you are unhappy at your current employment situation, when you get off work, what are you doing? And the beautiful thing is, if you do still have a 9 to 5 job, that means you have money to put into ads. You have money to put into marketing. You have money to, even if you didn't just come across a Lance Alonso, you can pay an influencer because you have steady income coming in. But the
Absolutely.
question is, what are you doing with that money?
Absolutely.
Are you using that money to be a consumer, or are you doing that money to really buy your freedom off your 9 to 5 or your corporate job? Because literally, I'm telling people, listen, you can make money all day long. You get the right ad running. You know how much it costs you to acquire a customer, how much it costs to get people to your website. Listen, you can make money all day long. So the last question I have for you is, what are just some tips you have for people that are just starting out, people that are brand new, they got an idea, they got a product they want to bring to market. You as a seasoned entrepreneur, what tips would you have for the person just starting out?
Good question, Ryan. If you're just starting out, the very first and most important element that I would like to say to you is you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and you have to change your mindset. You have to sort of mute out people that may not have the gift inside
Mm,
of you.
mm,
The gift is given to you, not to the people that are around you, not to your siblings, not to your mom, your dad. The gift of that vision is given to you, and you must put your feet to the pavement to make that gift come to fruition.
mm,
You have to believe in yourself. I can't stress that enough because self-doubt will stop you from making decisions, will stop you from getting off your 9 to 5 and coming home and putting those 2 hours in to
mm,
sacrifice not hanging out with your girlfriends at happy hour or going on a trip because you need to do research on your event. I mean, or on your business. That's the very first thing is mindset and believing in yourself.
mm.
Second, find something that you love to do or find something that may be lucrative that you could see yourself replacing your 9 to 5 and doing every single day, every single day. You don't want to do something that you don't like doing, even if it's for making money. Some people may choose to do that. I choose to do something that I sort of have fun doing and interacting and creating and changing people's lives as well. Um, Three, make sure you surround yourself with people that are surpassed where you want to be or have gone down the path that you want to go down and that have made some mistakes. They can save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and they can give you some great resources to help sort of catapult you up a little bit. There's still going to be pluses and minuses at any level in business, but you can alleviate some of those beginning stumbling blocks that may stop you from even getting to first base because sometimes that will happen. Be like, oh, I quit. I'm not doing that. Surrounding yourself by the right people. Read some great books. Educate yourself. It's no way that you shouldn't at least be educated with some of the basic things out here with the internet. Internet never closes. It's open 24
Right,
7.
right.
You can make money 24/7, and you can also learn 24/7. It's different ways. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like reading." Okay, well, on your way, on your commute to work, instead of listening to Pandora, put on some motivational speaking
Right.
in your earplug or in your car. So my commute, when I was still doing this, my commute every day was an hour and a half one way before I even got to the job or got home. So I spent about 3 hours a day in traffic. So I try to utilize that as much as possible by being on webinars or listening to podcasts and things like that, or having conference calls with people.
Mm.
Because I said that's a lot of time to be spending every single
Right.
day. That's 15 hours a week. Over a month time. That's a lot of hours over a
Yeah.
month.
Right.
That's like 300 something hours could possibly be over like a month or something. So I wanted to utilize that time wisely. So I suggest you to do the same. Utilize your time wisely, and just don't be scared. Just jump out there and try it. The only thing that happens when you fail is you learn from it, unless you
Right.
give up. So if you can't continue to learn, because even in my success, I can sit here and give you a laundry list of things that went wrong since I quit my job.
Right.
So it's not peachy. It's not a perfect cookie cutter situation where everything has been going great. The perfect storm came along. He had lags. He had this. He had that. I was just in the right place at the right time. Because I tell you what, there are plenty of times where we do things we may say, "Oh man, I ain't gonna do that today. I ain't gonna do that." This was not an event that I said I wasn't gonna do, but a good buddy of mine named Mike from college, he told me about the event. I wasn't even gonna go as a vendor at first. I was just gonna go to support. But he said, "Nah, man, you should bring your stuff." And what if I second guess bringing my stuff? That effect might not have
Mm.
been the same if Laz didn't see my setup. I might not even have interacted with him if he didn't.
Mm.
So you gotta be in certain situations. Some people like, oh, it's a waste of time going to this networking event, going to that. That's the only way people gonna know about you, hear about you, see about you. Besides, if you don't have money to keep spending on ads, but I'm forever grateful for that moment, and I have my faith in God as well. I think God, puts your steps in the places that it needs to be, and I believe that was one of them. And I still nurtured a relationship with Laz. I didn't just do that event and don't reach back out to him. We're cordial. I speak to him, and I'm excited that he did what he did for the brand. But one thing I can tell you, if I didn't have my stuff together, he wouldn't have did that. I have another video that's coming out. He was recently here, and he spoke about the reason why he supported me. He said that one, the brother had a good product, and
Right.
he said if I did not have a good product, he would not have supported me. So one, you gotta have either a good product or a service. You can't have a mediocre product or a service and think that, oh, because you're this and because you're that, people should support you. No, maybe
Oh yeah.
maybe
Even yeah, yeah. Even if you black, oh, buy
yeah,
black.
even if you
No,
black on people like, oh man, black on people should be support me. Well, what's the caliber of your product? Do you have a good product? Do you have a product that people want? Are you supplying or filling that void? My void, anybody that come to me with dry skin, I smile. I sit there like
that.
Stevie J. I sit there like Stevie J. And I sit there and I say, oh man, I can't wait till you get my product. Now, granted, everybody with dry skin probably not gonna have that same results. But about 9 out of 10 of my customers, they say, "Wow, I wish I would have had this years ago." And another thing, let me just say this also, Ryan. You have access to all of these different celebrities, all these different people that are on social media. We didn't have that years ago. I just sent the basket down to Trick Daddy. Uh,
Mm.
Trick Daddy, I can't remember his real name, but everybody know the rapper Trick Daddy out of
Yeah, of course.
Florida, with Trina and things like that. I sent the gift basket down into him. I was at home a couple days ago and I was watching Unsung, and they
Mm.
had a story on him. So I
Yep,
watched
I've seen that.
grew
Yep.
up, he a couple years older than me. So I was like, that was my era growing up in the 90s and listening to Trick Daddy and Luke and all them. So I sat there and watched it. And he talked about his battle with lupus.
Mm.
Now, I didn't know if that was fact because, you hear a lot of things. I didn't know if he actually had lupus. I did sort of hear it over the years, but he said it out of his mouth. And he said he didn't want to come out in public because of how his skin was looking and how he felt. And he knew the cameras would be rolling everywhere he goes. So I said, wow, okay, he's still dealing with that. I know my product worked well because I got customers now that deal with lupus and different things, and it helps. So what I did, I went on Instagram. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I did. I went on Instagram, went this page. I was already following, and they have contact. If for booking shows or something, contact this number. It was an actual number. There wasn't even an email address. I text the number, introduced myself, say who I was, and I said, okay, let's see if I get a response back. The guy responded back. We had a short little conversation back. I told him what I was trying to do, and he sent me an address in Miami. I
Mm.
shipped him a package to Miami. He said he received it. Now, granted, I didn't put in there like, oh, I need you to do this. I gotta have this. I need Trick to do a video. hey, if he used it and it works great for him, that's fine. You know, if he talks to me, he reaches out to me and he loves what it does, maybe we can do something with lupus and do something collectively together. But I just wanted to use that example of you can't be scared. You can't say, oh God, well, I got to send this basket. It's $60. I'm gonna need my $60 back. That's what if that $60 lead to $600,000, but you was too scared to send $60. So now you not even getting a 500, you know, the 600,000 that came from that investment. So, you know, that was just recently. I think that was last week I did that. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe the guy might pick up the phone, call me back, and might shout me out. I don't know. Worst case scenario, I hope it help him with his lupus and his skin so he can go out in public and make the money that he needs to make doing the things that he does on a regular basis, which is in the limelight in the music industry. So.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
Yo, he just gave y'all the blueprint, y'all. He literally just gave you the blueprint. Yo, Terry, I'm gonna want a book from you within the next few years. I'm gonna want that. I'm gonna build your funnel for you, and we're gonna get this book popping because you got so much priceless information to give to the people, man. Like seriously, at the end of the day, y'all, like, there's no excuse, man. Go out and make it happen. Plant the seeds, make the long-term investment, be uncomfortable, and it will come back. It will come back. So lastly, y'all, I want to tell y'all, go to SheaButterLikeWhoa.com, get the products. Trust me, you will not be disappointed with these products. The first time I got it was, I think, about a year ago on your website. That when that Black Passion came, I was sold from that. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, I was sold from that. That Black Passion, I love that. I love the mango. There's a few other scents I like, but my personal favorite is the Black Passion. So go to SheaButterLikeWhoa.com, SheaButterLikeWhoa.com. Make sure y'all get that. Get the product. It's going to come fast too. Great customer service. Package right and everything. Have y'all smelling right. So I just want to thank you, bro, seriously, for coming on today, man. I know how valuable your time is. Thank you for sharing. This is only like a snippet of the conversations that we have and the circles that we in. So I just want to like truly thank you for coming on today.
Oh no, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come on and speak to you and continue to build our relationship, and then just share information with others so that if they're on the fence or they may not know what their next move is, that hopefully some of this may provide some clarity or at least provide them to get off of the porch and off the steps and at least give it a try. Give it a try. So I'm always available for some conversations. If anybody wants to pick my brain and go a little deeper, I'll make sure to you can go to my website and I'll have a link where you can set up an appointment to speak with me as well, so I can provide more insight as a product maker or business owner, or if you just want some more insight that maybe can curate and focus a little more on your business to help you out. I can do that as well.
Mm-hmm. That'll be worth every penny in which y'all spend. So again, if y'all watch us on replay, do me a favor, just type replay down, type your name, where you're from, any other questions you have for me or Terry, feel free to drop them in. We'll come back and answer them. But other than that, I just want to thank you, bro. Again, lastly, go to SheaButterLikeWhoa.com, SheaButterLikeWhoa.com, and have y'all smelling right for the wintertime coming up. You know what I mean? Seriously, your girl mad at you, she won't be mad at you no more. If your husband mad at you, he won't be mad at you no more. So go to SheaButterLikeWhoa.com, SheaButterLikeWhoa.com. Y'all have a great holiday weekend.